And welcome back to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Chrebet. And I'm talking slower because we're still trying to figure out what the hell happened like last night. And I was there. Wayne was there. Wayne, what are your thoughts right now?
Same thing, just shocked, somber. You know what I mean? Being a Jet fan my whole life and playing for them, these things seem to happen a lot more to us than other teams. But yeah, the 6 months of build up of anticipation and stuff. 4 plays in, and that kind of dissipated. But they did get the win, so there's the positive that came out of last night. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like you gotta. I understand. It usually roll my eyes when someone says, "Oh, the Jets cursed. They're cursed. Namath cursed them, and nothing goes right. Rodgers is going to get hurt right away." I roll my eyes, but this is crazy. And don't get me wrong. Listen, I have a lot of optimism with this team, and Wayne does
Yeah.
too. Moving forward, we're going to get into that. But first, let's get the therapy out of the way. And it is just to watch this team, see the talent they have. They are loaded, man. They have so much talent. It makes it that much more crushing.
Yeah. Obviously, we saw the defense show up like it's expected to. I mean, Jordan White had 3 picks.
Yeah.
I know everybody saw that he needed 3+ picks for a $250,000 bonus and just happened to get it in the first game. But yeah, they got 4 turnovers. We'll talk about special teams later, which contributed. I want to talk about that rookie there. But yeah, it's Zach Wilson's back. And I said last night I was on the sideline with Amy watching them warm up. And I said, who's got the best job in the world? I said, Zach Wilson.
Oops.
He's going to learn behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple years, maybe retake the reins as a good team. No pressure. I said he probably slept like a baby last night. And 4 plays later, his number gets called, and that went out the window. But he did what needed to be done. But he certainly has to do more than he did the other night to win, especially with the schedule coming up.
If you think about it in that vein, he was not expecting to go in the first series. He's cold. I know warm ups weren't that for far behind going
Right.
into that spot, but all in all, he kind of handled himself pretty well. Considering all the circumstances, that interception was terrible. I just think he didn't see Milano there.
Yeah.
Maybe he pre-programmed that dig. Who was he trying to throw to? Cobb, I think, because the linebackers were up near the line of scrimmage and they dropped quickly. So maybe because they were up, he pre-programmed to that target. But all in all, he showed some guts in a lot of different ways, and I'm kind of impressed and optimistic moving forward.
Well, I'm the most optimistic guy, but you know, the Bills don't do anything scheme wise very complex. I mean, it's a whole new animal going against Dallas, Dallas this week. But yeah, he was only with Aaron Rodgers for 6 months to learn a little, and hopefully Rodgers stays around to kind of help guide him with this. I'm sure after a surgery and stuff like that, but we need more than what Zach was last year. But he said the biggest thing was just how the game was presented last night. I don't know if you were there for the beginning. For anybody who
Yeah,
wasn't there, it wasn't even like a game. It was like a experience, like a
yeah.
production with all the lights and the Method Man doing the starting lineup and all that stuff. The place was ready to explode.
Hmm.
In that first Aaron Rodgers touchdown, and it got so deflated. But like you said, Zach Wilson did a good job, and kind of saved the day.
Yeah, and you're right with the Bills scheme, and something else about the Bills scheme. It's not Leslie Frazier running it anymore. Frazier rarely blitzed. Now it's probably more McDermott nowadays, and they brought heat early on. The thing that was so uncharacteristic about the Rodgers injury, Dwayne Brown tries to cut on the left. It's a three-step design. Rodgers didn't get rid of it, and I think the juices were flowing, and he just kind of wanted to make a play, and that ultimately led to what happened. We're gonna pop the video up here in a second, but what did you take from that play?
Yeah,
The
like
play
I said, it
that
looked like
went
he was
wrong.
ready to throw it, and he didn't. Now, for people to understand, I played 11 years, and the only person I remember tearing Achilles was Vinny. You're going to bring that
That's
up
right.
because he's the honorary captain, but
Yeah.
it's a freak injury. I mean, I know he's going to get beat up this year because he's offensive line, but I didn't think something this drastic was going to happen.
Yeah, see, I don't think the O-line is that bad right now. I mean, they were great on the ground. I'm not saying they were great in pass pro, but if you look at this play, all right, Dwayne Brown goes for the cut. It's a three-step drop. Remember against the Giants in preseason, Rodgers, anytime Wink was pressuring him to hell, and anytime he saw someone was going to get close, he just threw it away. He just threw it away. That's what I figured he would do, and here he just never, like he has. I mean, he has the slant right here. He just holds on to it. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. It was very uncharacteristic. He has this guy too. We'll see where his eyes are on the other view, but that's what really shocked me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I think looking at the play, it looks like everybody's going to end up in the same spot where that one safety could cover both.
Right.
Maybe that's what he saw, but I don't know. It's a freak thing. I'm reading some of the comments. Obviously, the Jets curse. This is like you being a Jet fan. All these things. Like I said, it happens. Super fan says I'm speechless and in shock. Charles Henderson, I was on the toilet all night. And it's always been like that. All these different things. So, like I said, it's not the same old team. Obviously, it's the same old like things happening. But when we get into the defense, you're going to see like this gives them a chance to see they'll still be a playoff team.
I agree.
Can Zach Wilson be the guy that leads them there? I don't know. We're going to get into that. But it was a good start last night getting that first win.
Yeah, and how about Brees Hall? How good is Brees Hall?
Yeah, it's funny. I watched the replay. Like, I don't care how in shape you are, you're never in shape for like an 80, 90-yard run. At some point, you kind of get your back gets a little tight and you're like digging, and your stride gets weird. And especially when someone's chasing you, it's a different feeling. But yeah, he almost made it. And if you look at it, it looked like Garrett Wilson thought he was going to score and slowed down. I thought Garrett was going to actually pass him and block, but they were on, they're on 10. I mean, they needed to play like that, and I got him out of there.
Oh, this was his first run.
This was the first one.
Which, I mean, every time he touched it, 127 yards on 10 carries. That's absurd.
Well, the one carry in that one was the biggest. Other than that was, your normal gains, but it showed that, his knee's better. He's got that explosiveness back, and they're going to need a lot from him, and certainly more from Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, and Dalvin Cook looked pretty good last night. From my eye up top, he still has the vision, and that's what this 1-2 punch. That's where their greatest strength is. Their vision is just tremendous. Hall and Cook.
We're inside the 5 here. We need to get a first down to change field position, and he squirts right through there.
Yeah, and a great job by the O-line too.
I mean, and this cut right here.
Let's start from the beginning. Great job by the O-line. Nice job by Rucker. Did you see that block by Rucker?
Yeah. So you see Garrett?
Yeah.
He's like celebrating and like
he got a little antsy.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. He's ready to celebrate and high five. I mean, that's a great job by the receivers, tight end, Brees. Like, this is the kind of plays we're going to need and, should expect by Brees and,
look at Rucker there.
Touchdown. These two young guys, man, there's a great future for the Jets.
They have so much talent. That's why it makes it so painful. But you know what? Sometimes it's just, it writes, like the NFL is a funny commercial. People call them a league fixed. And a lot of the superstars are around a table doing a table read, kind of mocking that idea. But for the Jets, this is the way it's written. This is the way it's scripted. Rodgers' is Achilles. It's the same. I believe it's the same leg that he hurt his calf in OTAs.
Is that right?
So I believe so. And he's dealt with calf issues for a long time, but he's never really missed time. Hasn't been an injured quarterback.
Well, that's what they say. Did we see the last play of his career? Opinions are that he's not going to go out like that.
I tend to agree.
Proving people wrong. Is he going to be back in a Jets uniform,
Yeah, I tend to agree. And listen, he made his home in this area. He's loving it. He's loving life. He likes Zach Wilson. He likes this team. I could see a situation where this team rallies around Rodgers, plays for Rodgers, plays for Wilson. And Rodgers, he looked like a coach on the sideline in preseason in Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a passion there, and he hangs around and does a lot of good for Wilson this year.
Yeah. Like I say, I would have liked Zach to sit behind him for more than four games. But yeah, he's got to step up. And we're talking, Coach Sal said it's his job the rest of the year. Now, some of the names we're hearing is Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan and Cam Newton. Like, are they bringing someone in to start or someone to be the number two? I mean, certain veterans might not. Like, Nick Foles is a good number two. But, do you think they're looking at someone to come in and start eventually at this point?
I think whoever they're talking to, it will be number two.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. That's not to say it won't change. I mean, I think it's going to be Wilson's show. And if he does falter, they'll have a guy like a Foles or a Minshew. Yeah. I heard they're monitoring Chase Daniel, Colt McCoy, Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Who else? Mike Lennon too. He had a rocket of an arm back in the day. I don't know if that's still the case, but Carson Wentz is another guy too. I mean, and Foles and Wentz. I think Douglas was in Philly when Wentz was drafted. Foles certainly has a history with Douglas, winning the Super Bowl when Douglas was there in Philly. So there's some ties there.
We need someone mobile because they're going to be running a little bit back there for their lives. That's how it's going to be. Obviously, wasn't a hot take. The offensive line needed work and didn't get it. And even the casual fan knew that was going to happen. So certainly need someone like that. Some of the comments, someone like it felt like a funeral. Yeah, I was in Christopher Johnson's box.
Oh,
and I hadn't seen him until after the Aaron Rodgers pick, and I hurt injury, and I went up to him, and I didn't even know what to say to him. I felt so bad because they've done so much, putting the money out there and doing what they need to do, and bringing Aaron in and those guys. But yeah, we were down 13-6, 7 points, and it felt like we were down 40 points.
Yep.
And I think Coach Sal did a great job, like rallying the troops, and a couple plays, and everybody ended up celebrating at the end of the night. And we wake up this morning, and it's Aaron Rodgers news is kind of like dominating the news, which is going to be, but we have to get rid of that. Like you said, we're in mourning, but now it's time to look forward.
Did you catch up with Vinny at all yesterday?
Yeah, I saw him before the game. Yeah, it was like, me, Vinny, and Curtis were down there. There's celebrities down there. There's alumni there. I mean, it was like a big coming out. Everybody wanted to see the new show in town. And I don't know, just it is what it is. I do want to get into, obviously, the game winner. I had in the third quarter said to somebody when he was back, what's the last time we had a Jets punt return for a touchdown? I think he fair caught it. But on that punt return.
You think he fair caught it?
What's that?
Is that what you said?
This was in the third quarter or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So in overtime, I'm like looking at, telling him, I'm like, this is an undrafted free agent guy. You got to root for him. I said, he could really make a name for himself right here. And he takes it back. And I thought he was tackled like inside the 20. And the place was going nuts. And I was just like, I am so happy for this kid, Xavier Gibson.
We talked about him during OTAs.
Yeah, he made the team. And Corey Davis retired and got his spot. And he's instantly a fan favorite, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he's explosive. As soon as I laid eyes on him in OTAs, certain guys have a shiftiness to them, low center of gravity. They're just players, and they don't shy away from contact. He's just one of those guys right away.
Yeah. So I last night, if you look at trending news or whatever players, obviously he comes up on social media. So I went on there. I was curious how many followers he had. I think he had I took a Snapchat, 13,000.
It's going to be more today.
I'm going to follow this dude. I think by this morning, he had like another 10, 12,000 more followers. And I'm happy for him. I mean, it gives guys a chance to dream and believe that something like this can happen, and not just make it, but like win a game like that under
Hmm.
those circumstances where there's such a dark cloud over the stadium last night until till they got to overtime and that happened. And I wish that guy the best.
And credit to the coaching staff for letting the undrafted rookie be the punt returner on game number one.
Yeah.
They could have easily shied away from it and said, it's too much pressure. We'll put Hardman back there. But nope, they saw it in him and they let him do it.
Yeah. No, this is awesome. I was talking to someone. There was so many Aaron Rodgers jerseys and T-shirts, and I was joking that there'll be some Gibson jerseys next home game. Or is he number 82?
82, yep.
And I want to say it's so weird. All these people that have the Aaron Rodgers, and I don't blame them. I would have bought his jersey too. He might never have played for us. And
Yeah.
all these people have his jersey. He made 4 plays, but it's the craziest thing. Like it was like, I don't know, like it's not like something I've seen before.
The roller coaster of
in
emotions.
history. I think that's one of the most, game that people wanted to see, and that people will remember that game.
Yeah, 100%. The roller coaster of emotions from last night to even now is insane. It's insanity. And we'll get into more Rodgers, but let's look at the Garrett Wilson touchdown and then the Xavier Gibson touchdown. This play was actually an RPO. No, not a handoff, a traditional handoff RPO, but Wilson had the option to hand it off or throw the fade. And this was the one time he opted to go for the fade. So there was some under the radar at the line of scrimmage stuff Wilson did that's very encouraging, and I think it's mainly due to Rodgers' influence. And this is one of them because look at the line, fire off like it's a run play. Wilson decides to take the one-on-one. Not a good throw, not whatsoever, because it's not towards the outside shoulder. But how about this catch?
Oh, it's tremendous.
I mean, unbelievable.
He's a special talent. I was watching him more. If you go back and look, though, this 23 tried to get in the passing lane.
Right here?
I don't know if that messed up that. Yeah, like you can see, if he would have let him more field, it could have been, or put enough air on it. But people say it's a bad throw. It wasn't back shoulder. Listen, he got it done. He got it.
It was good timing.
He a chance to fight for it, and that's just good hand fighting. I mean, it's little push off here, a little grab there, and I'd love to see that relationship blossom between Zach and Garrett, because they're gonna have to lean on each other.
Yeah, 100%. Let's check out the Gibson play. Any parallels? A lot of people are bringing that up with Testaverde. You're the perfect person to ask because you were part of that 99 team. I mean, I guess the difference is, Vinny got hurt in the second quarter. It was a fumble by Martin, but you guys wound up losing that game. This time around, they won the game. But how was it obvious in terms of how the whole roster was deflated when that happened at the time?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. 98, we were so close. We're like, all right, we're going to recoup, get healthy, come back in 99. In the last preseason game, I broke my foot going in motion. I went in motion. They snapped the ball. I took one step. It broke my foot. I was out for a month. The first game, Vinny tears his Achilles. And this was interesting because when I broke my foot, I was nowhere near non-contact. Vinny tore his Achilles. It was non-contact. He was by himself. But when Aaron went down, I'm like, all right, good thing it's not non-contact. And then I heard the x-rays were negative, and I was like, that's not good.
Yeah,
I would have rather been an ankle or something, because you can come back for that. But freak thing. Like I said, Achilles doesn't happen as much. But when it happened to Vinny, I mean, we were devastated just the same way almost it was last night.
And with Rodgers, we don't know if his calf was in that bad of shape, and at his age. I was never worried about his age because quarterbacks get protected, but if it could have been hanging on by a thread, and it could have happened at any point.
Yeah. Seeing Johnny Jimenez gut punch. Yeah, it's a gut punch. Exactly. Yeah,
it's a gut punch. Here's the Gibson punt return. Short punt, middle of the field. So
dude, listen
grabs
to me.
It right here.
right, like as soon as he reverses field, like
Yep.
only someone like this play. Keep going a little bit. Right here, I yell, "He's got a wall!" And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
"What are you saying?" I'm like probably he's got a wall, and like everybody's facing him, facing the defenders. That they're gonna block him. They just got to get in their way. And this kid knew where to go. I don't know if it was a return left. It looks like the way he was set up. He's got a wall right here.
It
I
has
mean,
to be because
everybody's in the picture. There's more white jerseys closer than blue jerseys to him.
yeah, and right here he's in a quandary because he's going to outrun even though Surratt is a really fast linebacker, he's going to outrun him. So do you make the mad dash or do you try to set up the blocker in front of you?
Nah, you slow down a little.
Yep.
There you go. And this is where they're going to call it. Should they have called it trip?
You heard that, yeah.
Listen, I don't want to hear that shit. Listen, they're going to do whatever they can to take away the Jets win, be happy, all that, they should have called that. This same thing happened to us last year at New England. They could have called a penalty on that punt return by New England. And they didn't call it. They can't make this call. I mean,
so tripping the way it's put in the rule book, it has to be intentional. There has to be intent. And
yeah,
this one is, he's going for the block. Now, could you argue there was intent? Sure, but it's such a gray area that it's not blatantly obvious. And for John Perry, is that his name, John? Perry's his last name, ESPN referee guy, that analyst. To say this one should have an asterisk next to it is absolutely insane. You can give us your opinion, but don't say that.
If you run down the field full speed and dive to the right, as your left shoulder comes to hit the ground, your legs are gonna fly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's stupid. I didn't want to talk about it, but this, they tried to take away the victory. It was a great job by the protectors. It was a tremendous job by this kid, and I'm certainly a fan of him and rooting for him this year.
Damn, I wanted to see Salah come in. They cut off the video though. You see Salah come in celebrating with everyone at the end. We'll run it through one more time and then get the comments before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Middle of the field. You're right. It has to be a left return.
Yeah. I would set up that way. And if he won right away, it still would have been right. The fact that he took a couple steps and then countered.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool to watch because like I said, it was pretty somber in there. And then to see that, just the elation in the crowd, in the parking lot. It was just nice to see. I think the fans deserve that. That result after such a up and down night. But listen, they did a great job. The 9/11 ceremonies and having their first responders there, and when they did the national anthem, the red, white, and blue. It was just
it was a great environment for sure.
It was like I was looking at Amy in the box, and they were doing that, and I was on the field, and the player announcements, and I got like
teary-eyed,
and she laughs at me because I do the same thing when I'm watching my kids, in a spelling bee. That's how I am emotional. Yeah. But when that kid returned it, and everybody, I was just like, same thing. I was like, oh, this is why you play sports. This is why you cheer so hard for your teams and stuff like that, because it means something to you. And I'm glad that it ended that way for the players, the coaches, and certainly the fans last night.
Yeah, that was the loudest and best environment I've felt in MetLife Stadium ever.
That's pretty cool.
One.
Yeah,
it was. And number two, competitors and emotions. That's a good mix. Like usually, if you're a competitor, you're going to be an emotional person. There's no doubt. Yeah. Check out this message here. A lot of Jets fans feel this. Namath sold his soul so long ago. It's insane. The Namath curse. Jets fans need to try to find someone to blame the bad luck on, and sometimes it's Namath. Unfortunately.
Was there a Babe Ruth curse for the Red Sox too for a while?
Yes, yeah, because the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees for what was the owner's name? The Red Sox owner was also into plays, and he needed money to finance a play. Yeah, but I forgot what it was called.
Someone saying that somebody infamous was buried in the end zone in Giant Stadium.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah. The Jets had won. Listen, Jet fans, I feel for you. You know what I mean? I played, last 28 years have been part of the Jets organization and player and everything else. But I did root for the team since I was like able to watch football. Like, we're talking 45 years now. So I understand. And this is not how we wanted the year to go. I understand that. But if we can get through these next, you know, half dozen games, you're talking Dallas, you're talking Eagles, you're talking KC. Um, we got some tough games, but if we could come up away with splitting these next 6 games, it gets kind of easy after that. I think we got a chance to certainly still be a playoff team.
I agree. The team is so loaded with talent. It's so
Yeah.
loaded. Mark Sanchez says defense looks incredible. I doubt this is the Mark Sanchez, but Mark Sanchez had the tweet of the night, by the way. When Josh Allen, and let me try to find it and share it to the screen. When Josh Allen ran into a player, let's see. I don't want to spoil it. We'll go to. We'll go right to it. Tweet of the night.
Here, I got one from Edward Stewart just gonna win some awesome games. You still have your jersey to frame. Awesome. I thought he said, what are some awesome games? I'm actually clicked up watching Green Bay at New York Jets 2002 when we laid it on them to win the East.
Yep. I think you had 2 scores that game, right?
Yeah.
Here's Mark Sanchez. Josh Allen just ran into his own guy and fumbled. Weird.
Yeah.
Referencing the butt fumble. The self-deprecating humor coming out of Mark Sanchez last night.
Listen, you have to laugh at yourself. Yeah. You can't take yourself that serious. But someone even said today, you just need someone to do what Mark Sanchez did when they went to the AFC Championship game twice in a row. Just don't mess it up. You don't have to be crazy. Just don't mess it up and give the defense a chance to put you in some good situations with some short fields, sprinkle a little punt return action, and there's still hope. It's one game. Giants lost 40-0. That doesn't mean they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm happy to see that, but it's one game. Doesn't matter.
Zach Wilson scares me against the Patriots, Dakota says. I know Rivka is saying something too. Don't let Zach Wilson near the Patriots. Guys, Zach Wilson's the quarterback now. And, listen, he has the tools. I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm not saying he's figured it out. He's far from figured it out. But, funny things happen in football sometimes. And he's going to have to play against the Pats and Belichick. And last night, what did you think about that last drive where they were really ultra conservative? They started getting in a groove running the ball with 3 tight ends, that 3 tight end personnel, and they had Garrett Wilson one-on-one, any play they wanted. And I was kind of disappointed they didn't go with one shot to Garrett Wilson to try to let him win the game and go up 7.
Yeah. At that point, I had said, when they went up 3, I had said, people know about the 2-minute drill. Everybody sees that. Hurry up at the end of the game or the end of the half. But we do practice a 4-minute drill. And that's a situation where you want to end up with the ball winning the game, within the last 30 seconds. But, you move it, you let the play clock run, you try to get first down. So could they have taken a shot? Yes. But we wanted them to use their timeouts. I thought they did a good job. And freaking guy from Buffalo hits the upright and it goes in.
He almost missed it. So I almost ate my words right away if he missed that field goal.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
There's 7 yards from the snapper to the holder.
Yeah.
If that guy had just been, 3-4 inches further back, that hits and doesn't go in. It's just, that's how close it is between winning and losing in this league.
It really is. It really, and I love defense. I'm a defensive guy, and I love the Jets D. I think they might be arguably the best in the league. Yet that's how crazy the rules are. You can't stop guys with 2 minutes left in the game if they need a field goal. Yeah. It's just so damn hard. All right, what else we got? Allen. Oh, here we go. Rivka and Allen, yeah, coughed it up 4 times last night. 3 picks by Whitehead, a career's worth of interceptions in a game. Allen has been very overrated for the last few years. His highs are very high, but he has way too many ridiculous turnover-worthy plays to be considered in the same class as Mahomes. Yeah, agreed. Burrow too. I'm taking Burrow over Allen. I think he's missing Daboll a little bit. He's reverting back to some high risk, high reward plays a little too often. And if you noticed last night, he made some plays in the first half, but all of them were outside of structure, scrambling outside the pocket. He couldn't get anything done from inside of structure, inside the pocket, which was interesting.
I'm glad you said that, because if you look at his body of work, he's got the big arm. His team's been successful, but he turns it over more than anybody. I know, Damian Woody was talking today about, everybody busts at Dak Prescott about, because we're playing them, they're talking about him. But no one talks about Josh Allen that doesn't really know the statistics, saying he's a turnover machine. That guy's a turnover machine, and he has some of his worst games versus us. So I think that's in his head a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. For those who support us, go to iTunes, rate and review, give us 5 stars because you love us, of course, and you probably love Wayne a little more than me, but don't tell me that. Just pretend it's even. JetsXFactor.com, use discount code 80 to get your free 8x10 autographed picture of Wayne. And, Dallas upcoming this weekend. I will be in Dallas. It's going to be an interesting trip. Obviously, Zach Wilson instead of Aaron Rodgers. And, God, again, it's going to take some days to get over it because this team is so loaded, which makes it even more just the anguish of not having Rodgers with Garrett Wilson and all these guys. But, hey, this is football, and you turn the page.
Right. So, yeah, hopefully we're smiling about a win next week this time. But listen, with that defense, they always have a chance. Remember that. So if Zach can just do his job, there's a chance. There's certainly a chance, and it starts. The second Zach Wilson era starts this Sunday out in Dallas.
Yes, it does. I learned my lesson. Dakota says, I learned my lesson from last night being Jets fans. Anything can happen with this team, and that is true. And I credit Jets fans. They showed up early last night. You know how Hollywood fans are the worst. Miami fans, they show up late to games. They come in. Sometimes that happens in New York, not to that degree. But last night, everyone was in their seats at kickoff, which made the Jets very happy. And it's a really good thing. And very few people left when Rodgers went down, which is a credit to the Jets fan.
Anybody who tried to drive home after the game knows nobody left. That was the longest it took me to get home because everybody stayed. Everybody stayed to the end.
Yeah. So tip of the cap to Jets fans.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back with you guys next Monday night, most likely. I'll be back from Dallas, and Wayne, finish us off.
Yeah. Again, come watch our videos, click, subscribe, like, all that stuff. We appreciate it. And with the live shows, certainly like the comments and everything. So we will continue to do that.
All right, Jets fans. Catch you later.